Okay. Well, Davey, it's really wonderful to have you and all of your friends from Hong Kong citizens with us this morning. You are very welcome here, and we look forward to learning a bit about your story. So I wondered if you could, would you like to tell us a little bit about Hong Kong citizens and then tell us a bit about your journey as a Christian?
Yeah. Thank you for the Uniting Church to invite us to be here. And on behalf of our Hong Kong citizens, to say thank you. And Pastor Margaret, thank you. And I'm not only belong to the Hong Kong citizens, maybe our fellows stand up to say hi, everybody. Hi. Morning. Thank you. Yeah, like I also work in Hong Kong Christian.
Maybe your microphone is not working very well, so we're going to change over to this one. Is this one on?
Hello? Yep, great.
Let's try that one instead. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah.
It makes me nervous. I have two mics in hands. Yeah, I also work in the Hong Kong Christian Institute for over 10 years. In my family, my parents believe Taoism. So for me, it's difficult to convert my faith to Christians. I remember the first time to hear Jesus' name is in my teenagers. My good friend in a secondary school, and she told me about Jesus Christ. But for me, that is only a story, because I need to go to work at that moment. For my family, my parents moved from mainland China and seeking asylum in Hong Kong around 1950. At that time, we are very poor, and girls need to sacrifice our education opportunities for boys. So I go out for work in the factory, and we say factory queen, just like me, the young girls working in a factory. So for a long time, I cannot feel that Jesus, a male God, can save like me, a girl. So gender bias always in my mind in that society situation. But later, my little brother, he got ill, mental illness. And I walked with him, and at that moment, he knew some friends from Christian, and I learned to pray from Jesus. If you can heal my little brother, I will convert my faith to you. But eventually, Jesus not healing my brother, but let him became a Christian. So follow his step. I also became a Christian. So God, we cannot manipulate his plan. We never know the ways he needs us to be. Just follow him. So that is my journey.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's a long story.
Yeah.
Long story.
So your parents followed Taoism. What's it like to be a Christian in Hong Kong? Is it difficult, or are there lots of people who are Christian? How is that?
Yeah, because Hong Kong is not a Christian nation, so multi-religious, very normal. And just like my family, we are interfaith dialogue every day. But in church, the evangelical church, they always have a ministry to convert the people in Christian faith. So that is a difficult task for the people to join together. For me, I think tolerance is very important in our society.
Yeah. And I think as Australia becomes more multi-religious and multicultural, we're recognising that peoples have other paths to God, and that we can learn from them too. So
right.
So In terms of being involved with Hong Kong citizens, what's the state of democracy like in Hong Kong?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, you know, I think maybe everybody also heard about the umbrella movement in Hong Kong, happened in 2014. And so I remember September 28th, police force have a tear gas bombing over 87 tear gas, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, so that is very serious for us and very terrible. And for us, Hong Kong citizens, we try to think about people divided into different parts by different culture, different political views, and different class. We are separate, and we cannot have any communications and cooperations. Different political views, we are enemy each other. So we try, Hong Kong citizens try to get the people together, no matter what political stance you are. And we can talk together to make a better cities in Hong Kong. And actually, Hong Kong for us is a home and also international cities. We want to maintain the freedom of speech, freedom of lifestyles can maintain in Hong Kong. So for Christians, I think we have obligations because we gain a lot of resources from government before under British colonialism. We get a lot of blessing from British because they are Christian nations. So for Hong Kong, they given for us some resources to run school, run social service. So over 1,000 schools, secondary schools, and some of the universities founded by Christian groups. And social service, almost 40 to 50% social service run by Christian faith. So for me, Christians have the obligation to serve the community and bring people together in solidarity.
That leads very nicely into my next question, which you've already sort of started to answer, is how does your faith inspire your political action? You're involved in the Christian Institute and Hong Kong Citizens, so how do you sort of see the connections between the two, and what does your faith bring to that?
Yeah, so multicultural and multi-faith is very important in this cooperation, in this solidarity. I work in Hong Kong CI, Christian Institute. We try to invite the politicians from pro-establishment. That means it's right-wing, pro-government. We want to have a dialogue with them. And we also invite some theologians from definitive school, and they have a liberal theological thinking. And we can have a dialogue with these politicians and talking about the ethics and justice in our society.
Yeah, I should have told people that you have a Bachelor of Divinity too, so you are well placed to bring these things into
well
connection.
placed to bring them together. But the audience, you know, from the left wing will blame on us. Say, why you give the stage for them? They are powerful. They no need to come to the church and have speaking for them. But on the other hand, we also invite the left wing come together to have a dialogue, because we want to change the division, separation. We want to make people come together to have a dialogue, even though you not agree with the others, because we don't want to breaking the relationships in our society, because we have a lot of violence and broken relationships after this umbrella movement, because in family, some pro-government, some pro-liberal or democracy, and they broke up the relationship.
Right.
Husband and wife divorce, So many such crises happen in our society.
Even within families.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is a big conflict.
So, looking forward for the church, how do you see its role in it? Does it have a transformative role in the future of Hong Kong society and sort of living in the shadow of China? Or is there, how is that looking?
I remember a picture like that. LGBTI people, they want to join the umbrella movement and they want to speak something on the stage, but Christians, right wing, stop them and not allow them to hear the successful or not is not none your business, and please left our the stage. So after that, we know they have a great parade in Hong Kong, and the young people, the young leaders of umbrella movement, they came to the LGBT parade and hand in hand on the stage to say, young people support different faith and different sexual orientation people and transgender people, intersex people. We join together to build up a beautiful Hong Kong.
Wow.
So the young people, we're proud of them. They are open-minded and they are our future. So for me, Christian communities and the NGOs and all the people in Hong Kong, in future, we hope we can use all resources to build up our capacity building and have a enhanced empowerment our political sense and learn how to have a good cooperations.
Right.
Yeah, and work together in the future. But you know, some people will say umbrella movement is failure because we cannot achieve any political achievement or universal suffrage. We still not having this universal suffrage. But for us, the successful is not mean the end outcome is in the process. People have much reflection on our life. When we go back into our normal life, daily life, we need to learn how to work with the people, communicate with others, and learn how to make our daily life more democracy, I think, even in church.
Thank you. Well, my last question is, where does your passion for justice come from? I think one of the things, people in this congregation are involved in justice and trying to achieve justice for refugee people and people seeking asylum, and many of us are terribly sad about the death of Omed on Nauru, a young man who killed himself really out of desperation at his situation. And I think as Christians and as NGOs and people struggling for justice, is what gives us the energy, the passion to keep going. So I just wondered if you could share a little bit about where your passion, your righteous anger comes from in your work.
We also keep learning.
Yeah.
I appreciate your church. I can see the banner outside the door. Asylum seekers and refugees in Hong Kong also very important issues. And we have a project with Kowloon Union Church in Hong Kong, serve the asylum seekers. We know the limited resources, they have no transportations, no food, and their daily life is very hardship in their life. So in the church, we invite the local young people join together to have a mixed fellowship with asylum seekers. Want to have a mutual understanding. We need to learn from them because they have brave to leave their country and seeking a new page in their future. The encourages they have, so we can learn from them. On the other hand, the asylum seekers, they are from Africa or from Iran, they can try to communion in the Hong Kong cities and learn Cantonese, and we can have a joint cultural program and to teach the people in Hong Kong. We embrace the multicultural, so we need to learn how to be hospitality for the strangers. Even though we don't know why they came to seeking the asylums. Maybe so many stories behind, we don't know. We just learn God's faith, love yourself, thy neighbor. We just learn to do that. We're not sure we can go, how long we can go together. And the policy, because Hong Kong has no any refugees policies. So the people are very difficult in Hong Kong because the police will arrest them under some because the black labor and criminal crisis, they will involved because the hardship of life, they have no any alternative. So that make us, we think that is difficult, but we need to fight for the improvement for their life and the policy in Hong Kong.
Yeah. Thank you so much, David. I think your point about relationship, about getting to know people is so important, and we have been blessed by relationships with people who are part of our congregation who have come to Australia seeking asylum, and we appreciate their courage and what they have to offer to our community. But we also really appreciate you coming and the experience of learning from one another and sharing our faith and sharing that model of Lydia, who was opening her home and as we open our place to you this morning and commit to opening our country to be a place of welcome to people too. So thank you so much for being part of the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.